Good morning. So good to be back to talk about the best of stories in the world of sports. It is Sports Central, and my name is Black. Kind of structure we're having to the makeshift kind of starting, and that's why we're a bit behind schedule. But the conversation will take up from different angles. Part of the key conversation will be the standings of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. What next for them after they faltered their lines in the playoff qualification against their opponent in that regard. They had beaten Gabon, but afterwards, the most important one was against DR Congo, and we thought they could stand tall, but it never happened. DR Congo dominated the conversation and got that victory. And there, in the intercontinental playoffs ahead of the Super Eagles of Nigeria, the big question would be what next for them. We'll also get to talk about some key talking points still in the world of football about the making of a top footballer. What kind of footballer? And when you talk about the making of a footballer, the conversation stands around techniques of the basics of the game and on and on. Even dieting could be a factor. In case you're wondering what a conversation centers then, my name is Vlad Nukim on Sports Central. I'll be having a massive guest in the house, a top tier level footballer. When you have to talk about it from the Aqua Cross region, well, the numbers count and stack for him, talking about in the history of the Nigerian Premier Football League, the only player that scored the highest goals in that regard. He played for Akwa United, played for Ayimba Football Club, also went to the United States of America, currently applying his trade in Bangladesh. Biggest numbers in the CAF. Welcome to the show. Well, it seemed like it takes quite a distance for us to have you. Maybe now it's becoming every 1 year we get to have you. We hope that we get to have you so frequently.
Thank you.
But welcome.
Right now, I'm available, so I think we'll have to see you often.
All right. That's so good to have the legend be part of a conversation this morning. Let's start out then. We're talking about the making of a top footballer. Most often than not, when you hear from a fan's point of view talk about football, you hear words like, football is so easy. Come on, it's just you pass the ball. And the rest of them at a time. So we're traditional football and not necessarily on the rest of them at a time. So we're traditional football and not necessarily a match of football you play on the street. So let me start by asking how difficult it is for football you play on the street. So let me start by asking how difficult it is to.
I think is you need to do some jobs.
Okay.
To get it done.
All right. Every professional has to do some job to get it done. That's that conversation from the legendary Mfonolo being part of growing up. Let's start by the inspiration of being a footballer. I know sometimes we hosted you on the show. It started from when you started.
Sometime that year. So I
talk about the difference of it. But let's talk about a progression for a footballer that progresses to become a top level footballer. Let's look at the difference.
Okay, let's start with the Nigerian Professional Football League.
Footballer that progresses to become a top level footballer. Let's look at the difference.
Okay, let's start with the Nigerian Professional Football League.
Yeah.
Kudos to the NFF, kudos to the League Management Board. They really do a good job, so I must commend them for that. But they really do a good job, so I must commend them for that. But it's quite different because let's start. It's quite different when you go to.
Talks about it when looking at professional football comparatively to the football you play at the street. But it seems like kind of difficult because everyone is a professional.
Exactly.
Looking at all the details.
Yeah, it is actually because we train in Nigeria. But over there is different because your workload, your work rates, everything is being monitored.
Oh.
So you just have to work hard.
You have to work hard then. Let's talk about the biggest strength of Mfonodo becoming a footballer. What's been, or we can start it because most often than not we hear footballers like Didier Drogba that said they started as a defender and then became a striker. For you, when it all started, where did it start from? Just being a top level striker?
Actually, I love scoring goals.
Okay.
I think this is what brings beauty. Do you know the history about football? Do you know what football was meant for?
Not necessarily.
So the idea about football was to score goals.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why they created football. So and I noticed that in every particular game you play, any game you play, in the game, but if I score a goal, I become a better player than you. I score goals. I have to be in front. So that gave me added advantage. So I started playing forward.
Well,
I played almost all part of the field. I played as a defender in tournament before, but I love to score goals.
If you were a striker, where would you play?
I think I'll be a defender.
Really? All right. Quite interesting. Now, if you were not a striker, you'd be a defender. Well, one question that I would want to ask for you as a striker would be this. What do you think is your biggest strength as a others? Because I was reading about you recently, and the way they described you, even on Wikipedia, was he's like a fox in the box.
Yeah.
I say if he gets into the penalty box, trust me, he can hurt you, and that's it.
For me, like you said something about headers. I'm a terrible header.
Oh, okay.
I don't like to use my head because I had a bad experience, and one in my career I've had 2 bad experiences going to the air to get a head contest. So the first time was when I went there. Of course, I had a broken head, and the second time I woke up in the hospital. So it gives me this phobia of trying to go up the air. So I think one of my biggest strengths is speed.
Oh, speed.
Speed, yeah. So when they say fox in the box, fast.
Yeah, I get.
Incredibly so fast.
Absolutely. It makes sense. But there are 2 kinds of speed when you're talking about football. Some people are fast without the ball. Some are very fast on the ball. Which is yours?
So I'm slow on the ball.
Okay.
Fast without the ball.
And that makes you very technical then.
Yeah.
Okay. A part of what we'll talk about today would be that I think, I don't know, last time I asked you this question, it didn't sound like you're going towards the twilight of your career, but most often than not, when you look at the age bracket of footballers and what they've done over, it would be now, so far, when you, or us.
Well, I think that question always struck me. Like I've been asking myself this same question over time, and I'm glad you just brought it up again. So I think I want to give back to the society, because society have done a lot for me too. So the generation that is coming up. So I think I want to be remembered for. Of course, they know what I've already done on the league, but I want to impact. I want to give back to the society.
Any plans regarding that?
Yeah, that's why I started the coaching course anyway. So
okay. Yeah.
Already I'm a coach, but I'm not practicing yet.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's good. And now that you've mentioned coaches, because was came into certain kind of conversation, and I was trying to keep it. For example, Angel Di Maria recently, not too long, came out and said Louis van Gaal was such a terrible coach for him. Remember his experience at Manchester United, and also really praised some other coaches in that direction. So for you, let's look at coaches in your career. What has been the worst experience you've had with a coach?
I had a terrible experience with a particular coach just for viewers' discretion. I would not want to mention
the name. Okay.
Yeah, but it was so terrible because I was actually playing so good. A little mistake that he made was introducing me to a game.
Yeah.
And I took the opportunity because I was hot, I was bitter. I just wanted to change the narrative. I wanted to just.
You played your heart out.
I played everything, and after the game, the first game I had a brace. I scored a brace. Second game again, I scored a brace. Third game, I scored a hat-trick. And my coach came to me. He was like, "Hey, congratulations!" And I didn't shake him.
I said, "No, man."
I said, "Take your hands."
Don't worry.
So
yeah.
It wasn't a good place for me, and I wouldn't want young and the upcoming players to ever experience this kind of thing. It's something that works.
Affects your mind, yeah.
It destroys the mind.
Well, many say it's part of life. Sometimes you get to have this coach, you're doing well, but the coach doesn't like your pattern.
You know, what I experienced has made a lot of players quit football.
I agree.
Anyway,
now let's talk about the best coach you've had. When you look at football and say, "Under this manager, I got the best out of me." It might not be maybe in terms of playing, but there's a particular coach in the course of your career that you look at it and said, "This was the best man." Wow.
Say tomorrow.
Adeyemba.
Yeah, Adeyemba. Yeah, this is someone, he nourished that prospect, and I will ever be grateful to him. He brought the best out of me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any specific ways he did that? Was it about management? Was it about utilizing your strength?
He was a tactical coach. He was very intelligent. He was maximizing everything on and off the pitch. So let's say, for example, we always stay in camp. I like to go out.
Okay.
So I'm going out and we're coming back.
You're one of the bad boys. I had a way of motivating you.
Aside that, motivation. Even aside that, he gives me a lot of gifts. Trying to motivate me. I bought you this, I bought you that. Gives me money.
Very kind of fantastic manager in that regard, pulling the stone from Fon Odor, making sure he's become a Paibo Makando Rock also a medicine market, medicine all, and careers like life. There are moments of ups and downs, all, and careers like life. There are moments of ups and downs where you're going to face lots of pressure, especially in big games. You play a game and you lose, or probably just as you mentioned, the coach didn't like you at the end of it, but you have to move on. For many people, that's that point, because you mentioned, you said, look, at that point, a player can break down and quit football. How do you manage pressure as a footballer?
Well, for me, I think it's mental. So if you have a tough mentality, you can handle the stress, because it can be disheartening for us to try to keep our cool under pressure. Lose the game, like you said, and a lot of pressure from the owners of the club, the fans, and everyone. So for me, what I try to do, if it doesn't work today, it's going to work tomorrow. Close my ears, just move on.
All right, just move on. One of the biggest setback in the world of football could be that of injuries. You've had your own fair shares of injuries too, just like every footballer. So take us through that period where you go through and that difficulties as a player, and what it means for some players. We see the likes of Paul Pogba in world football, injuries after injuries, and it seems like a recurring dismal and struggle. A top player can be that top player. For you,
That is the worst part of football. So like my friends will always say, it's not even something I can wish for my enemies. It's something we can't do. I felt the world was turning up on me, and it was a terrible.
When was that?
2016. I think that was the first time I ever.
When you were at Ayimba?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the first time I had an injury. I even started hearing rumors from my team. Oh, after the season,
no more. Yeah.
So when you hear things like this, for the mind is not really good. But like I said before, I have a tough mentality. We could scale through that.
Well, the tough mentality, we get to scale through that. And now we'll go on a quick break, and when we're back, the conversation will continue. I will look at some of the details that still happens regarding Fonodor's career and what a propensity was for him, how he was able to scale through all the hurdles and make the most out of it. And we'll talk about youngsters and what the future holds for the youngsters. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Steel Sports Central. My name is Vladimir Kim. We've been speaking with an absolute legend of the Nigerian Premier Football League, Mfon Odo. He's been such a big motivator for some of the young stars in the country and in the state. A footballer par excellence, if you want to talk about it, giving us perspective through his career. And the conversation will tilt even moving to the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the future of some of these superstars and what next to expect from them. Let's continue the conversation with Mfon still in the house. Mfon, let's look at the evolution of the sport of football. Many people have said football has really changed from what it was before to what it's now. So going through as a footballer that's gone through all the phases you want to talk about it from a Nigerian Premier Football League, let's start from home. What has been the changes you've seen in the Nigerian Premier Football League compared to when you were playing football and even moving further? How football has changed for you?
Okay, so for this particular question, I'm just going to be as brief as I can.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to mention just one point for you. Back then when we were playing, so we always have this mentality of home must always win.
Yeah.
So, but in recent times,
It's
if you don't play
changed.
well, it's changed. Like, so kudos to the league management board for the changes that they've done.
Okay, but in terms of a playing style, talking about like your career, when you started looking at football, the way you played football now, football is a lot faster now compared to when it all started.
It's faster. It has changed. Innovation is massive. Football now is technology.
Yeah.
It has a lot of technology in it. Even back then, when coaches went for coaching courses, it was just like a pen on the paper. But now you go, it's digital.
Yeah.
So everything has changed. So I think it's a lot of changes.
A lot of changes from Fonador in terms of football. And now I'm back to more like a personal question before we talk about dieting for many young stars that are planning to go into football. Dieting can play a factor. But before we talk about dieting, let's talk about your biggest achievement as a footballer. What do you think has been your biggest achievement? And maybe put that side by side with what has been the worst moment for you in world football?
Worst moment for me, injuries.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that should be a worst moment for any footballer. So injuries has been my worst and my worst moment. So for the best moment, for me, I think I don't know. Can I even pick anyone, or I can just keep them side by side?
Maybe it's one that you think about.
I think
have good reflection.
Yeah, a good reflection, like you said. I think the biggest moment for me was when I moved to America. I think at that point in my career, a lot of people actually thought I was gonna travel again. They said, they said, he's gonna end his career in Nigeria and the rest of them. But I didn't just move from Nigeria to Rwanda. I didn't go to Cameroon.
Yeah.
I left to the United States. Unfortunately, I didn't play in the first division like the MLS, but I played in the USL, which was the second division. For me, I think that was a great feat for me. So it was a milestone of achievement for me, and I think that's one of it. I think another one I can place by the side too. It's when I won the high school scorer for the Champions League in 2016. I think that also was a big achievement for me.
How many goals was it?
9 goals.
Yeah.
9 goals in 4 games.
Massive.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
You know? So it was a brace, and a hat trick. So I think it was a good moment for me. And also, of course, let's not forget about 2014 when I broke and set a new record in the Nigerian league. I think that record still stands. It's been a decade plus, and it still stands. So a lot of achievements there.
Most embarrassing moment in world football?
Most embarrassing moment?
Yeah. There's something happened maybe in a match or in training or something. You were very embarrassed.
I got a red card. So we went for what was it? It was the WAFU tournament.
Yeah.
The Super Eagles Team B, and I was the captain that led the team. So it was a bad moment for me because I think that would have taken me to a different place, a different height. So I took a red card in the game against Togo, if I can remember, and I was the captain of the team. So I think I laid the team down. My coaches they were complaining, and I couldn't qualify the team for the CHAN. I couldn't get anywhere in the WAFU. So I think for me that was one of the biggest.
It's been a big struggle for home-based Super Eagles. Most often than not, fans clamor. Recently, when the Super Eagles didn't perform well, the fans were clamoring and saying to themselves, let's bring the home-based players to be part of the Super Eagles. Most often than not, we see that happen. And one thing that wonders me when it happens is a player from a home base is given opportunity. The moment he flies abroad, they forget about that player. And I ask the question, is it that the player has changed? It's no more good because he went abroad?
For me, I think we when I often hear people complaining about, oh, this one is not called, that one is called. Nigeria, we have how many population again?
Yeah, so much.
So much millions, and we have a lot of people in the game of sports. So everybody cannot be there.
Yeah.
So just work hard, pray, keep doing what you do, and just wait for your opportunity.
All right.
Yeah.
The biggest challenge for MPFL players, when you see them in Chan, they're not performing so well. Last Chan was an embarrassment. Just won the last game, but I couldn't make it to the next round of it. And recent times, even qualification has been difficulty for the MPFL players. So while we're saying they should be part of the Super Eagles of Nigeria, the other side of the argument is, if that is good, they should be performing alongside their mates in the Chan competition and do well, and they're not doing well. What's the biggest challenge?
Honestly, you can't fault MPFL players too much, because I always have this to say, and I think maybe sometime in the future I'm going to venture into football administration and show some people that this thing can be done differently. You don't expect a player that travels from Uyo, for example, to Maiduguri, 2 days inside a bus, you're sitting down, and the next day you expect the player to perform to the maximum performance. Now you cannot get that. But in abroad, you see these players, they fly few hours, even if they're using a bus. So you don't expect these kind of players to perform in their
especially when they're going out.
Exactly. So they have a lot of challenges. So you see players not really being paid well and a lot of stuff. So for me, I think kudos to Nigeria MPFL players. They are actually trying for me.
All right, in front of those things, MPFL players are really trying and doing so well. Well, before we get to the twilight of a conversation, because I really want to let you go, the last part of this conversation was centered around the Super Eagles of Nigeria. But let's talk about, I'm looking at the players you've played with. Who would you say has been your toughest opponent that you've engaged as a striker and say, when I met this player, it could be a defender or any?
Yeah. Chinedu Udoji of the blessed memory.
Oh, Udoji.
Yeah. So I think that was one of my toughest opponents that I've played against. Every time I go to play with him, I'm always like, this guy, he hits so hard, I'm going to get injured. But there was nothing I could do because I have to walk past him to go score a goal. Yeah. So I think he was one of the toughest I've played.
Oh, of blessed memory.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about most underrated player you've played with.
Underrated?
Or you've seen.
Good underrated. Ooh, who could that be? I think that should be when I was playing for Enyimba. Well, his name is Andrew Abalogu. Oh, okay. He's really underrated, but he was a very good player.
Which position he played?
Yeah, we actually played the same position from the side, wing 7-11, okay. And sometimes he played like the top striker.
All right. And now let's enter one key conversation. This conversation has caused lots of wells when it has to do with football. Your greatest footballer you've seen. Okay, start with an icon. Who's been your football icon? And then we can talk about the best footballer you think. Who's the greatest of all time?
Okay, let's start with the football icon. So I think my football icon is Ronaldo de Lima.
Okay.
Yeah. So everything, of course, you already know the story.
Yeah.
So Ronaldo de Lima is my icon. Let's say for old times anyway. So for the new times, I would say Cristiano Ronaldo.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think my greatest of all time is Pele.
Pele.
Yeah.
So you avoiding the Cristiano Ronaldo Messi conversation.
So you see, oftentimes a lot of my folks that know me very well, they call me Pele.
Oh.
Yeah.
Pele. Well, Pele by its own right of blessed memory, man, I would say, won 3 World Cups, the only one to do that. So absolutely fantastic legend, especially at a time where it was difficult for blacks to really hit the number and show class and dominance. He stood tall to be the best player the world has ever seen. One famous story has been where there was a war, Pele came to play ball and stop the war. So interesting to talk about Pele in that light. Well, before we get to talk about the Super Eagles of Nigeria. All right, let's go into the conversation straight up. The Super Eagles of Nigeria. You've seen the struggles for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and now I say if they don't depend on Victor Osimhen, they can't really play the game they ought to play. You saw the qualifiers; they really struggled during the qualifiers, and even up next, the last straw was the game against Congo, and we saw how they struggled in the second half when Victor Osimhen got injured. Let me start getting your thought from here. What do you make of their struggle, recent struggle?
So I think it started from the beginning. So anything that is not well structured from the beginning is always ends with chaos. So I think the structure from the beginning was not really a good one, starting from when Finidi George was the coach and the rest of them. But it's quite unfortunate that we find ourselves in this position. We're not even supposed to be playing in the playoffs. We like from the group that we were, is something that we were supposed to get an automatic qualification. But football, it is what it is. Sometimes it's always like that. So I wouldn't really blame the players. I just blame the structure.
So what do you think is next for them? The Nations Cup is right at the corner.
Well, we need to pick up our pieces. We are out of the World Cup, so we don't need to cry over spilled milk. So we just pick up our pieces.
Many Nigerians will ask, how do we pick up the pieces now? Because you have top quality players already being part of the team. Eric Chell just came as a coach. Many say he's done quite well, but it's still not adding up.
So it's always like this. So when you talked about Victor Osimhen not scoring and Nigeria depletes itself, truth is a tree has to be close to a tree for even a monkey to function, and a tree has to be close to a tree for it to be a forest. So I think most of the players are not playing up to expectation.
So we need to bring in more players, new players to the setup.
Yes, I think we just need to. So if you look at the Super Eagles list, for me, I feel it's just a sort of copy and paste. So you always see same people, and they just feel relaxed, and they feel, oh,
yeah, they've played
whatever I'm doing, I'm still gonna be there.
No
So I think they need to do some reshuffling, and
maybe more younger players join it.
Younger players, experienced players. So it has to be a combination of both.
Any key player that you think has been missing out that should be part of that Super Eagles team?
No, I think we have some new kids in the block. So they just need to. We have a lot of.
Frederick doing quite well.
Exactly. So he was scouted. You imagine there are likes of Frederick out there in other countries. So we just need to do a lot of scouting here. Just spot them.
Okay. We just need to spot them. We'll go on a quick break, and when we're back, Mfondolo will tell us his ultimate five-a-side team, and we'll also try to create the ultimate footballer for him. We'll look at the left foot, the right foot, what quality player he would path there, the quality, is it the quality of Cristiano Ronaldo, or quality of Mesut Ozil, or what quality? It will be a conversation when we return, and we'll conclude looking at his retirement from football. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's you, Sports Central. I have Funny, not fun now. Funny thing I usually be part of the game now. Funny thing are not available, but another fun, a super legend, being part of the mix now. Fun Odor. So we have my colleague Mfonitina has just stepped out, so immediately Mfona and Fon somehow they would have really loved to see, wanted to see you today, but had to go for some official jobs. Let's quickly talk about the last phase of this conversation, what center around first. As I said, let's talk about your ultimate five-a-side. Most often than not, top footballers say, yeah, if I have to have a five-a-side, maybe I'm part of it. This player, this player, this player, this player. Looking at the players you've played with, a top five players to feature your five-a-side.
This is basically with the people I've played with.
Yes.
Okay, so I think Vincent Yamba will be in goal.
Okay.
Yeah, I think first time I had the opportunity to play with the legendary Vincent Yamba was when he got his 100 caps for the Super Eagles, and I think it was a game in Uyo. It was Nigeria against I forgot, maybe Zambia or something, or Gambia. So so Vincent will be in goal, and Chinedu Dojo of the Blessed Memory will be in my team. Am I supposed to put myself inside?
It's up to you.
Okay. I will have.
Well, it doesn't have to be just Nigerians. It could also be players you've played outside Nigeria.
Okay. And I think the captain of the national team of Bangladesh, Jamabuye, will be in my team, and
he's so good.
Yeah, he's so good. And also, I have one striker. It's Igbo, but he stays in the United States. His name is Toby. Yeah. So Toby will also be on my team. So how many is that? 3? Yeah. And Emeka Obu, we played together in my first team in Bangladesh. He will also be on my team. And one last person, a midfielder. Who should that be? Who should that be? What am I thinking of? Midfielder.
No, midfielder from Aqua United.
Let me shock you.
Okay.
Anika Nikbe.
Nekanakwe?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. At what point did you play with Nekanakwe?
Actually, we never really played together with opponents, but we were in the same state too.
Oh,
Like
okay.
he was like a senior and a junior team, so.
Oh, nice. Nice. Nekanakwe, yeah. He's staying with Dakada Football Club.
Yes, exactly.
Quite interesting. He knows how to caress the ball very well. Fantastic footballer. And now, before we close, let's talk about an ultimate footballer. Now you can look at all the footballers in the world to use to make up an ultimate footballer. Let's start with right foot.
Right foot, Ronaldo.
Which of the Ronaldo?
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Cristiano. Okay. Left foot.
Messi.
Okay. Strength.
Adama.
Adama Traore.
Yeah.
Okay. Speed.
Mbappe.
Kylian Mbappe. Football IQ.
Football IQ. What am I gonna put there? Sergio Busquets.
Sergio Busquets.
Yeah.
Vision. I put Fabregas there for you. Messi Ozil. Okay. John Obi Mikel.
Iniesta.
Oh, Iniesta vision. Shot power.
Shot power. Lampard.
Frank Lampard. Heading.
Drogba.
Okay. Leadership.
Leadership. Who goes there? What am I going to put there? Unfortunately, Trostekon.
Willem Troost-Ekong, yeah, knows how to really communicate.
Yeah.
Toughness.
Toughness. Kante. N'Golo Kante.
N'Golo Kante. And finally, a player with good team spirit. You just see the player and love the team spirit.
Firmino.
Firmino. Oh, fantastic. Firmino, absolutely. He doesn't care whether he scores or not.
Yeah.
The players gets to score for him. Well, a last word for the younger generation of footballers now in Nigeria, especially those seeking to make a career.
Work hard.
That's it.
Be committed.
Okay.
You need a lot of perseverance. Don't let nothing stop you. Believe in yourself. Pray hard. And the sky is going to be your limit.
You can exclude prayer out of it. And every time I say finally, but I have to, something gets to my mind now. And let's talk about this one. Is there any youngster you've supported in Akwa Ibom or Nigeria? When you look at that youngster, I say, definitely, this is the next generation superstar.
Yeah, I've spotted quite a few, but I don't really know their names.
Oh, okay.
But I've spotted few, and I see the future in them.
Okay. All right, fantastic. So how long are we expecting Fonodo to continue playing football?
Well, I don't want to break down, but for me, I still...
It's been how many years now? 14?
I think... Huh?
How many years you've been in the game?
Yeah, I've been 14 years professionally.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I've actually I've achieved quite a lot, but I still need like 3-4 years if my body carries.
What do you say? 3, 4. It might even get to 6 the way you're saying it.
Absolutely.
They're playing football up to 40 now.
It might, no, but I don't want to play that long anyway, because I still need time with my family and the rest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Quite difficult, all the journey you get to have with the family. How do you cope managing the family? With this career?
Well, it's something I've done over time, so I think family really understands. They know the drill.
And so the wife gets to suffer all of this being a footballer.
So more reason I need to retire on time to spend time with them.
Okay, and more reason it has to retire on time and spend time with them. Fonodo is a Nigerian professional footballer, played as forward for Bangladesh Premier League club. Brothers Union still there?
Yep, but I think my contract with them has expired.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So looking forward to moving to another club.
We move. That's exactly what we do.
That's what the game is all about. Our biggest record for him from a Nigerian point of view has been the first player to score over 35 goals in 2 consecutive seasons in Nigeria between 2012 and 2014. He scored 39 goals in regular league and 3 in National Cup competition for a total of 41 goals in 2 seasons. Was the highest goal scorer in the 2016 CAF Champions League with 9 goals and was all scored in the group stage of the competition. An absolute legend when it has to do with Nigerian football. An absolute legend when it has to do with the Nigerian Premier Football League. A proud son of Akwa Ibom. Definitely. I'm proud of him. Thank you, Fonodo, for being a part of the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely having you. I wanted to say what next. I don't know when next we're having you, but we hope to have you soon. And guys, interesting. By November 30th at MGM Hotel, we'll be having an interesting coalition of fans watching the game. Chelsea Football Club play against Arsenal, and my man Mfonodor would be there.
Definitely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so
for
much
being a part of it. Exciting times. I'm wishing him all the best of fortunes when it has to do with football and career. The next 3, 4, 5 years, as he said, massive progress and making plenty of money.
Thank you so much.
We have to call it done. Thank you so much for being a part of it. And I want to say a big thank you to everyone that's made this possible, from the cameraman to the people in the control unit, and making sure every nit of detail takes place. And to Fonador's guy that's with us in the live studio. Exciting conversation we have. Thank you very much for being our viewer and being part of it. Tomorrow is another day. My name is Bladin Rukim, and I say ciao, ciao.
School runs, so